This is power button and mute.
Good afternoon. Now we'll finish with the last panel. I guess they don't even look comfortable because they've seen the two panels go by and it should be easy. I'm more after Dexter. I want to hear what Dexter's going to present. Because he's Success Academy. How can you beat that? But we're going to start with my right and then work your right. All right, thank you. Please state your name, the school, and everything that everybody else has been testifying. Thank you.
Emily Meno, acting principal on behalf of Begonia Flores for Ukadu High School. Currently, we are a lease school. We are requesting for, of course, money, even though we're a lease school. I'm not going to tell you the amounts because you have those amounts in front of you. Our biggest concerns for our teachers is really textbooks because we have outdated textbooks. And, we do want to have that as a resource for our students. Though the department does give us lots of technology to support us, there are still students who need that textbook or some hard material to help them. And it would really be great to also have them take it home, especially for our students in our special populations who need those additional supports. We did need some supports with our substitutes. As you know, we have teachers on military leave, medical leave, you name what kind of leave. So we need more substitutes, because teachers are sick too, and we're all human, we all have families, so we have to understand that they need supports there. We did request in our budget for additional vacancies. We requested for additional teaching vacancies because our teachers are so giving. Even though they know how many students they should have per classroom, they will take additional students. We do have prep teaching as well that's available for our students so that they will have a classroom and a teacher to go to. But we definitely need those kinds of supports still. And so those are things that we have. Most of my budget is also including equipment. We did request, for example, like replacements for band instruments, not necessarily the whole instrument, like the mouthpieces, things that, as you know, we're 10 years old, so we've had those instruments 10 years ago, and just those parts need to be replaced. So we're not asking for the whole thing, we're just asking for some parts to be replaced so that we can continue to utilize what resources we have. We also requested for cafeteria tables. We are anticipating with the redistricting to have our population increase to close to 2,000, and currently we have close to 1,700 students. So we will need more cafeteria tables. Regardless of the fact that we have 2 cafeterias, we still need more tables for our students so they can sit. So a lot of the equipment that we're requesting is whether it's for the classroom or for the school itself. So that's where most of our budget is requested based on what is on our request. Okay?
Thank you, ma'am.
Good evening. My name is Carla Masnayan, and I'm the principal of Simon Sanchez High School, and we are currently on our 5th-year journey to getting our school rebuilt. So one of the major difficulties that I've been challenged with the last couple of years is really the facilities. So we're really banking on getting that money for the department so that many of our facility needs will be addressed, just to keep us going until we get that school built. For example, lately we've had terrible weather, so when the rain pours, you know, we can anticipate many leaks on campus. We haven't had a consistent AC vendor because of the contract. So what we've tried to do is work with our maintenance crew, our HVAC maintenance, and when they come and assess and we can buy the part, we will buy the part just to get that AC running. So we've been very frugal with our admin funds so that we can help support facility needs at the school level. If we need to buy doors that were broken into or that were destroyed, or doorknobs that were broken into, we purchase that just so that we can secure our school. Other issues that we've been tasked with is trying to see how we can support our support staff with supervision. So in my budget, I've requested for 2 additional school aides. This is a little bit more than my allotment, mainly because of how the facility is built. We have a lot of corners. When our students are all outside, we have our fast track classrooms that, you know, have a lot of corners, so we do want them supervised. Lately, we've been experiencing a lot of, you know, discipline referrals that deal with contraband items. So a lot of the support that we get from the district in terms of training, our SROs, you know, those are all much needed support that helps the school. Student Support Division has trained our counselors, so they're a big help in terms of helping us address our at-risk students. Another part that I do want to make a push for, as well as like my other colleagues before me have, is our increments and our reclass for my teachers and my staff. Every year we do ask them to do more and more for our students. They supervise our students. They are advisors for clubs and organizations. They help assist one another when we need classrooms covered. So in order for them to be able to get their increment and their reclass is really something small that we can give them to say, we appreciate them being teachers. Also, what we've usually used, every year our administrators get our Salapi Principat. Every year we also request for equipment that we would like to get us going for the year or to replace furniture. So with my equipment listing, you'll notice I have a large amount of equipment, furniture that I need to replenish in our school. In the past, we've surveyed many combo desks, but over the years, as our population have grown or some have broken, we've found out that we've received donated desks that we've given before. So we'd really like to replenish a lot of our science desks and our combo desks for the classroom. So that's a lot of the big ticket items on my equipment listing. Normally in the past, when we do get our Salapi Principat, because we don't get our equipment amount, our dollar equipment amount, we would have to request to use some of our Salapi Principat. So we're often tasked with prioritizing the needs in the school. Do we buy photocopy paper to get us going throughout the year, or do we buy the combo tables in the cafeteria, or do we buy the tables? So although we want to fund all of the supplies that our teachers ask for in the classroom, there comes a point where we do have to prioritize supplies that will help for the entire teaching staff. We do have this year a very active PATSO, so they've been very supportive in helping us fundraise. They've started out with taking the task of painting our gym, so that's something that we're very grateful for them. However, it's a lot of the stuff that needs to be done at the school cannot be taken on by the community or the PATSO alone. We've been very fortunate that with paint we get donations, but again, it's what we do every year. We paint every year. We really have to make sure that we fix the infrastructure, we fix the facilities so that we're not just doing those Band-Aid fixes. Let's see. Other than that, I am asking for Simon Sanchez High School that you approve a budget of $10,652,759.
What is your student population?
My official school enrollment is 1,750.
And you're asking for 10 million. Can you repeat the amount you're asking for?
Yes, 10,652,759.
Just a very short comment. You do realize that you're basically asking for the same amount per student as what the charter school is given? You do understand that, right?
I don't know how much the charter school is.
They get 6,088, and if you times 1750, it comes out to 10,654. So you're asking for 652. So not bad.
So yes, it's
thank
equivalent.
you. That's very good to hear. Thank you, Senator. Yeah, I mean, that's a perfect number. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Senators. My name is Sophie Duenas, principal of Teton High School. So I always ask myself, what is my purpose here? Why am I here? And the purpose is that we're here to serve our students. And if I can ask any of you guys to put yourself in the shoes of a student for 10 minutes, I don't even think we would last that long, because we don't know the kind of pressures that our students go through every day, and not just at school, but at home as well. And if we want to service these students, then we have to be their superstars, which means that we have to show the teachers the kind of appreciation that they are due, and that is because they are there for their students every single day. Which means if they are to be given their increments, then give them their increments, because they fight really hard for their students. The budget I am asking for is $8.5 million, which is $1.5 million higher than last year's authorized level. The increase is $1.3 million on personnel, in which I'm asking for an additional 17 staff. If you look at the layout of Teton High School, it was never meant to be a school. It was a barracks. And so every building has a second floor, and every student has to climb stairs to the second floor. I'm not asking for an elevator, but I'm asking for supervision, staff supervision, so that our students remain safe in our schools. The hallways in each building are enclosed hallways, so if the staff were manning outside, there'd be no one inside manning the hallways. We have to be very strategic when we ask our students to stay off the off-limit areas. When I was principal of Antala Middle School, and this is the next thing I'm going to ask, and it's not here in the budget, but Speaker Wanpat called my office and asked, Sophie, what is it that that the school needs in order to be the high school, because it's going to be a permanent high school. And I told them that they need to fix the plumbing at Teason High School. So with the water wells going down, it kind of affects our plumbing as well. So our maintenance have to work extra hard in keeping the restrooms really clean. If you come by our restroom, it's bad, but we ask our maintenance to please continue to keep it up for our students. So what I asked for in the budget is really that we give our teachers the increments that they deserve, and to increase also the staffing at our school.
How many what is your student population, ma'am?
1,260.
And you're only asking 8.5?
Yes.
Okay. Because the cost, if we follow the charter school like Simon Sanchez, you're just shy of 900,000.
That's because we're very frugal with our spending.
I know. And I'm just to let you know, and for everybody else, I'm familiar with Teason. When it used to be NAS, when NAS first gave it up and it became Teason, I used to run the Guam Military Academy for the National Guard. I control 5 of the buildings there, so I'm very familiar with what you're going through. And then when I worked at Revenue and Tax, we had half of that compound there, and I'm just thankful that you're able to still take care of the students up there and actually catch them when they become mischievous. But that's common for kids. Okay, thank you. Dexter, the man with success.
Yes, sir. My name is Dexter Fullo. I'm the principal for JP Torres Success Academy. But I'm also in charge of DYA and Sanctuary. So you can say we're in charge of the alternative program. Students who don't function normally in a regular school setting, who needs additional support and additional help with a lot of flexibility. That's the kind of students that we service. So currently, in terms of my budget, I'm asking for 1.57 million, asking 2 personnel, 1 school nurse, since we don't have a school nurse at the moment, as well as a school aide. But in terms of our biggest problem, you know, I sit out here and I listen to all the issues, and my colleagues always say students first, and they're absolutely right. The budget, the biggest issue when it comes to JP Torres is not so much the budget per se, but it's in terms of how do we help the students succeed. And a lot of it, based on our data, is finding a new school site. Our students wake up at 4 in the morning every day. Some have to walk a mile or 2 miles to get to the bus stop to go finish an education that they so rightly need. And we have a lot of attendance issues, primarily for that reason. So if we could find a place more centralized, you know, I've been working with the management team to see if that's, you know, we can start moving forward with that. But I think that will be probably one of the biggest ways to help our students who are most in need. The second thing that I'd like to bring up is at JP Torres, with the students that we serve, it really does take a community to raise a child. It really does, to make them succeed. And, you know, a lot of the issues that we're facing are not just primarily as a result of the schools. A lot of the issues happen outside of schools. And everybody needs to be involved to a greater degree in the students' lives in order for us to succeed. Social work, behavioral health and wellness center, drug and addiction. These are everyday challenges our students face. And, you know, sometimes a lot of it falls just on educators to try and fix. And, you know, sometimes we succeed, but a lot of times we don't. So, just a few questions. My ratio is a lot smaller than most schools. My ratio is anywhere between, at the most, 15-to-1 student-teacher ratio, average 10-to-1 student-teacher ratio. But the return of investments will pay off. It's deciding whether or not we as taxpayers end up paying for the rest of our lives to help students, or we make the students that graduate end up being taxpayers and help the economy. You know, that's something we all have to think about when we talk about helping students that need that additional help and additional support.
Thank you, Dexter. And for your school, I don't even want to look at the ratio that we use with charter school. You're a different breed, and the students there are a success. There's no doubt about that. I've met with a lot of students, and I'm very proud that some of them that refuse to go back to their high school, but when they get to the Success Academy, wow, they just take off, and that's a success. Rebound from where they're at in the ghetto or wherever they're, you know, whatever they were doing, they recovered. That says a lot for those students, you know. And like I said, you're the guy with success. You got cameras down there too, Dexter? No, you don't need cameras. Okay. I'm going to ask my colleagues if they have any questions they want to pose. Madam Chair, do you have anything? Nothing? Senator Castro, nothing, right? Senator Moylan? Senator Perez? Oh, yes, please.
Thank you. First of all, I want to thank the chairman of appropriation to allow us this time to have our principals come forward and speak about the challenges that they have. I also like to thank the superintendent and the board members for affording this time as well. I felt that that it is very important for my colleagues to understand the gravity of appropriating the necessary funding for Department of Education. And it's been said in this hearing that for 20 years we have not given Department of Education their full allotment. And so it's also a stepping stone for us to get into the weeds of the needs of the children, instead of just trying to do a blanket approach and not meeting the requirements or the quality of education and care that the schools need. So really, I want to thank you principals and your support staff and your teachers for coming here after a long day's work. I know it's exhausting and it's tiring, and you have families to go to also, so I'll be real quick and short and say thank you very much for all that you do and ensuring the care of the children. Thank you.
Thank you, Senator Nelson. And you know, I got a signal from Ms. Gutierrez, my former board member. Please come forward, Ms. Gutierrez. She wants to. She's going to make a good statement, right, Mary? Thank you. Please.
Good afternoon, senators. You know what I'm going to call you? The Magnificent Six. I was sitting here, and I don't know if some of you are noticing, I was counting all the way. It ended with 10. Being Senator Moylan, my cousin, number 10, right? And now, how many more hours, and you're the 6th. Thank you so much. From the bottom of my heart. You know, Mrs. Gutierrez is not an easy person to sometimes listen to, but thank you. Thank you, Senator Nelson, for you know, having the principals here, because now you hear it from them. You hear it from them, and to all of you that are new senators, please come up to the schools and visit, because you won't know just from the outside. And yes, you're right, Senator Nelson. Ever since your grandmother and I were in the Territorial Board of Education, the Department of Education never received 100% of the school budget. So you know how old I am now, right? And you know, it should really stop. Please give the Department of Education what they're asking for. It is not for them. It is for our students, our kids. And remember, in the public school system, you cannot tell a parent, withdraw your child because they're failing. Withdraw your child because they're very, very, very active and won't listen. We can't do that. And, you know, I've been in the system very long. And every year that I come here before the legislature to justify our budget and the hard work that the stakeholders at the schools to put it together, only to later on we don't get what we ask. And if I challenge all of you to come to the school. And I was texting the superintendent and the chair. And I thank you, Sophie, for giving me that, supporting my my plan. That we're gonna have a senators as DOE students of the day, for the day, okay? So we're gonna invite you. So Sophie said you won't last 10 minutes. We're gonna be very nice. We'll make you stay the whole day. So you will know what the kids have to go through, what the teachers have to go through, what the principal, everybody at the school. So you choose a school, okay? St. Francis and Agustin, you're not going to JFK, because that's a, you know, there's no, not to any of the new school. But really, we will, and believe me, we will get that. Senators as DOE students for the day. So you will just see, you know, when the students, when they see elected official at their school, they are very happy. They're very happy. So I invite you. But I want to really thank all of you on behalf of the school board and the whole Department of Education family. Thank you, because you heard from these principals. They can't do it all on their own. The teachers need that reclassification money. The employees need their salary increment. We're not, as a board, asking for ourselves. We're not asking for ourselves. We are satisfied with our $246.87 stipend per month, okay? And that's because Senators and Augustine had to do that tax. But honestly, you heard it from them. You did not just hear it from the board of the superintendent. You heard it from the front people at the school. And those that are not here to present their budget, it's all the same. So I invite you, and thank you to, and from here on, you're my magnificent six who stayed all the way to listen to these principals. Mr. Cooper, I know him personally. You know, when I first got to Maria Zoa, I see this guy all around, helping the school. That he got me and Ms. Benabenti to donate our stipend. But it's for the students. So thank you, Senator Nelson, for inviting the principals to be here, and for all of you, and to my colleague, former chair, Jesus Marcy. Again, now you know, you're going to give them what they're asking for. You're going to be, Mr. Dexter has 3 small schools that he's taking care, even if it's success, but he still need to be more successful. Okay, so Jesus Marcy on behalf of the Guam Department of Education family and the board.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Madam Vice. I'm going to ask the superintendent to please take a look at the public-private partnership for the schools that deals with maintenance, because we attempted that when I was on the board, and we couldn't get the attention of the legislature. I'm on this side asking you now to present it to us. Take a look at how your procurement is being handled. I brought this up with telling, is that if you honestly believe you can service, the Department of Education can service the schools better by having control of it instead of going through GSA, like you're doing, Simon Sanchez, then present that program so we can consider this. Because no further delay should happen. If you need something done, if you need to do it yourself, then present that to us so that we can try to find a way to get that approved by law. And let us help you by you helping us. Okay, we got to all work as a team. And yes, in reference to the increments and the reclassification, I have the OFB team here. They've been looking at that, trying to figure out a way how we can find the funding for that. But just understand, as much as you all want to be fully funded, $343 million, we got to be realistic. We're going to find a way to get as close as we can. But there are agencies that are going to end up getting the cuts. Just understand that, and it impacts everybody in the Gulf of Guam. So we got to balance this. So as much as we want to give you, Senator Nelson would love to see that happen. She's the oversight chair of education. we're going to be realistic. We're going to be looking at the budget more. We're going to see what we need to tweak. We would call Mr. Fernandez, not the board, but the guy in operation. So board, don't feel offended, okay? I know what it feels like to be on the board not being cold. But we'll call Mr. Fernandez, sit down with my director, Steve Guerrero, the OFB guy, and he works the numbers. And we come to terms of exactly what is realistic. And for principals, I know what Simon Sanchez is going through. My son graduated from Simon Sanchez, and I got on the board because of our problems at Simon Sanchez. And it's still not fixed. So there's got to be a way to fix it. And I heard that you're short of a couple millions, so you can get it get it back on track, and then maybe get your RFPs so you can get that management and start building the school. Then you can free up money, go solar, keep the money that you save, fix the other schools. You got to find a way to turn this around. You can't, we just can't keep turning to general fund. We got to find a way to be very creative. And we all my colleagues, all 15 of us, you got to remember there's 8 new senators, and they're all eager to find ways to fix the government. But we got to be realistic. There's only so much in the pot. As long as we all understand that, you don't blame us that we didn't give you the money, because I'll show you what we got. We will not hide nothing. We'll show you exactly what's in the pot. And then we'll move from there. And I thank you all for coming today. I thank my colleagues that showed up earlier, even though you only counted 6. Ms. Gutierrez, there's 10 of us. And the others, I'm not going to apologize for them, but may God bless their soul. Okay, the Committee on Appropriation will conclude the budget hearing on the Department of Education. The Committee on Appropriation will continue to receive testimonies. I'm not going to say in a few days because I know there's many more things to come. And please address your written testimony to the office of Senator Joe S. San Agustin via email at gmail.com. Jesús Masi for your attendance and participate in today's budget hearing. And for those at home, thank you for watching. Have a great evening. It's 6 o'clock. Thank you.